So, do you ever wonder what it takes to create award-winning or award-nominating work? Well, when you go to awards, I think it's often frustrating that you see the work up on the stage, but you rarely get to see the actual work. And being a judge really gives you, I think, quite a unique insight into what goes behind award nominating and award winning work. So I've decided to lift the lid, spending time with Leap Create and Roger Cayless from Leap Create, chatting with him about the CGI work they did to win video category in a few awards, actually, one of them being the Recruitment Marketing Awards. So yeah, we're gonna lift the lid on what it takes, or lift the lid behind that work, and also we're gonna flip the scripts, flip the roles a little bit, and Roger's then gonna chat with me about the work that I was involved in with Not Going To Uni and the Royal Air Force, because we've been lucky enough to have been nominated for the RADs on that recently, but also win at the Recruitment Marketing Awards and most recently the Lens Awards. So yeah, let's get on with the chat. Roger, good to see you, mate.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming. We were talking about getting behind the scenes of creating content. I think particularly with a award season kind of finishing a few weeks back, and we were both nominated and we both won awards with some work we've done. It's great to get you here so we can go a bit behind the scenes of the content that we produced. I'm really fascinated to chat with you about what you've done with CGI, because that was won a few awards recently, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, we've been, well, first of all, it's really nice to be here and thanks for inviting me.
No,
and,
pleasure.
Yeah, it did do well, that project. I think we did go all in on the awards, and I think we
got to be in it to win it.
6 different awards events, but I think we got a total of 14 nominations and 9 of those were wins. So
nice, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. I think last time I saw you was I think it was the Lens Awards, wasn't it? And then before that, yes, the RADs. Yeah. Sadly, just a nomination at the RADs, but as they say, that's as good as a win.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before, but I kind of think when you say that, what comes to mind is that I think, having worked for big agencies, I think unless you get loads of nominations in one award, and nominations are kind of not really seen as being that important.
Yeah.
But actually, you look at it, it's great to see at all the awards, like these smaller organisations coming up and getting nominations. So actually, it actually really is great just to be nominated.
Oh yeah, totally. And the RADs, it definitely wasn't dominated by one agency, was it? So
exactly.
It was good. And there's really good work out there. And I know, I mean, in all honesty, that's why I absolutely love the judging.
Yes.
And I do take judging very seriously.
Yeah.
I take a couple of days off. I read every line, watch every film.
Yes.
You know what it takes to do a decent entry and a decent bit of work. So you give the respect to the people that have done it. And what's really encouraging is to see that there's really good work out there.
Yeah.
And it's a rare thing, isn't it, to be able to see the work behind the work, because
it's true.
So often, and it's a bit like doing a pitch, isn't it? If you lose a pitch, you rarely get to see, well, you might get to see the final work, but you don't know, I wonder what we lost to, I wonder what they did, what work they did. So when you're judging awards, you do get to see other people's entries, and you can kind of see, okay, what is it they're measuring? How do they put their awards together? It's just fascinating to see, and gives you a chance to sort of benchmark yourself against the rest of the industry.
Definitely. And I think it's such a great opportunity to be a judge, because I think that's why when I go to awards and they just put up on screen, this is the winner or these are nominations, you don't get much else. If it's a video, you might get 5 or 10 seconds of video, and then in the magazine for the winners, you get a short paragraph, but you never it's really frustrating because you want to know what makes winning work.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about today. So you got your client CGI. So let's do a bit about what the need was, and then we'll run some of it and take a look at it.
Yeah, sure. So it was a diversity, equity and inclusion brief, which obviously very topical at the moment. Not sure when this goes out, Chris, but I'm sure it will still be topical. But what we wanted to do was something that was different. And CGI as an organization are genuinely and demonstrably inclusive. They've got so many fantastic things to prove that they are an inclusive organization. And what we did was get in touch with the network organizations, of which there's quite a lot within there. So we consulted with them about, the best way to do this. And we wanted to do something that wasn't just a sort of, I suppose, tokenistic, really. It's very easy to sort of reach for the obvious with some of this stuff. So we did really in-depth interviews with 3 of the network organizations. There was the neurodiverse network, there was the women's network, and there was the as it was called at the time, the BAME network. I think it's now the Reach network.
Okay, yeah.
So had proper interview. It wasn't just a sort of like little half an hour with someone. It was like a couple of hours properly getting to know them, and uncovering some fantastic insights. So for instance, with the neurodiverse network, we interviewed a guy called Adam, and he was just telling us about his experience and what it was like for him. He hears 8 different voices at once. He had ADHD and autism, and he hears these 8 different voices at once. He breaks his time down into 15 minutes. So he was telling us about the experience that he had of having his interview at CGI and all the concerns that he had, these kind of unkind, self-sabotaging voices. So that was kind of the genesis of our idea, really. And then we do this thing at Leap called the Agile Creative Squad, which is, rather than just kind of throw a brief at some creatives, we get subject matter experts involved in those early stages. So that idea,
That's all right. That's all right, no worries.
Yeah, so that idea came out of one of those Agile Creative Squads. And it was a bit like, I suppose it's a little bit like, we all have an internal monologue. So rather than it being external diversity, it was about diversity of thought. And what are the things that we say to ourselves, the voices that we use with ourselves, that can be part of a human condition, really. So that was the basis of the idea. And then we turned it into a kind of peep show first person camera setup, which was quite complicated, but that was the difference. So we had these people's internal monologue, and then what they say and hear externally. And the diversity and inclusion part came from how the CGI people in these films reacted to what the person was saying and what they were thinking, and that kind of gave you a different angle, really.
Nice. And I love how you've kind of used outside of the employer branding world example of classic Channel 4. Is it 90s and noughties peep show? It's great. And you actually looked into how they produced it.
Yeah, we did it a bit differently. I think in peep show, it actually was someone with a steady cam kind of standing right behind, and obviously actors had to look right in the camera. We did it with a head mounted rig, which came with its own challenges, but
I bet.
that was the idea. And it was just like, how can we do something that is different as well, different in terms of, it's so easy, isn't it, just to do an interview with someone about their role and tell a story. And I think one of the things I'm always saying to the team as well is about not reaching for the obvious. But as we know, there's so many employer brand videos end up being the same thing.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's not, I don't think that's really the fault of agencies necessarily, but a lot of them are the same brief, isn't it? Asking someone to talk about their job, they're given a set of questions. Some of the answers are pretty standard. You could pretty much do the interview in your head before you actually have it. Let's do a 2-person camera set up with a bit of B-roll of them chuckling or doing their job.
Doing that with the hands.
And I've done it. I've done plenty of those. Yeah. And they can be really nice, but they're not. But they're all kind of based on something that we've already all seen. And even if because you see where agencies will try and I've done it, like make that different, like it's black and white, or it's how many tricks can we throw in, let's get 360-degree cameras, let's do some time lapse, so you can use all these kind of production tricks to try and make it different, but ultimately it's someone talking about their job. So we just wanted to approach it from a different angle, but also have an idea that could be genuinely campaignable, because everyone has their own unique story, and they could, we knew that this could span across multiple different networks and different people talking about their situation. So that was it.
Nice. Well, let's take a look.
So this one was Adam's story I was telling you about. So Adam has ADHD and autism. this was his story.
Hi, it's Adam Pickering. I've got an interview. Adam Pickering. Hi, it's Adam Pickering. I've got an interview. Right, 90-minute interview. So it's got to get through 45 minutes. That's 4. Hi, it's Adam 10 minutes, and then 5 minutes at the end.
I love the internal dialogue. It's great.
I'm pretty sure at least last night before I went to bed, I can literally feel the scene.
Yeah, so it's all the different voices that he heard.
Play normal. Just be a normal bloke. Spicy green normal.
Spicy be normal. Yeah.
It's just a poster. Don't get your hopes up. Remember the last place they said they were inclusive as well. Right, let's get on with it.
Hi, you must be Adam.
Hi,
I'm Mark. Nice to meet you.
Adam Pickering.
Would you like to come with me?
And these weren't actors, were they?
No, they're all
brilliant.
CGI people.
Very well done. Sense of relief in his voice. And there he is, the man himself.
Yeah. So we decided, like, do we do a reveal at the end? Do we show who this person really is? So that was all decisions that we had to make. Do we use actors? And we decided pretty early on, absolutely no to actors, because we just thought that's going to ruin all of the authenticity. But the key thing about this was getting those people's real insights, because there's just no way, although we wrote a script, there's no way that I would have written what he said, because I don't have the lived experience, but also I'm not a Geordie, so I wouldn't say this song's really bothering us. And,
It's true,
yeah, and things like, spicy brain, normal, and someone saying, tell them it's better to just fail now, is quite a powerful line about how someone feels about themselves. So it's all of those things that I think make it something that we were proud of. And look, when it comes to awards, if you don't, it's not so much, isn't it, losing as more that you might not win, but I don't think that it doesn't make the work any less good.
No, not at all.
Because
Absolutely.
it wasn't done for the purpose of winning an award. So it's a really successful piece of work on all measures. So of course you have half an eye on the thought that this could be a potential award.
But there is a reason why it won award, because of you've come from it from a different angle, like you said, but also because it worked. You know, and the data shows increasingly data is that much more important. Yeah. Even in, you could argue, more creatively driven awards like the RADs, is actually data is really important. So it's really good to see.
Yeah, no, it's good. I put together a presentation it was probably about 6 years ago now. Having judged the RMAs, I put together a presentation that was like what I learned about winning awards through judging them, and I think that really helped, because you do need, almost regardless of the category, it does need to have a combination of different things. It does, if something doesn't look great, it's not well designed, it almost doesn't really matter if the results are fantastic. I still feel like it still needs to be something that people are proud to put up there. But conversely, if something just looks amazing but it's really flimsy on how
there's not much substance to it.
And you want to see that. Ultimately it comes down to trust, doesn't it, really? Trust in a client, trusting you to do something. And with this, CGI showed a lot of trust in this idea, because it was a bit different, and if you don't have that trust, it's very easy just to sort of lattice back into, let's just do a chat with someone about their job, and we'll make sure we show diversity. So getting trust from your clients is the key thing to award winning and award nominated work. Well, look, enough about me. Let's talk about me, as they say. No, let's talk about you. So how about yourself? Because you've done some fantastic work with Not Going To Uni. That's when I've been at awards. That seems to always be popping up on the screen.
It has done, we've won a few of them actually, and with Not Going To Uni. So you're Not Going To Uni, very much kind of evolved from being a job board, a very established apprenticeship job board. I'm simplifying it, but it's to them being a content studio as well. So I was working with Connor and the team. Connor's the MD there, on kind of the first kind of main client that came up was the RAF. And so a few years ago, and this was part of a national campaign that would have been done, probably a decent chunk of money, but they came up with Find Your Force. And so talking to Connor's going, well, imagine I think he was in like a Chinook helicopter, and it's like, wow, imagine like just getting people to talk about things in these places. It's like, let's find your force. What actually, if it wasn't just a headline, what if actually it was a direction?
Yeah.
You know, and actually going, what content would we create to help people find their own force? So we created the Find Your Force, Find Your Career Potential podcast. We started out this was to focus on recruiting apprentices. And we very much went on the base of the strategy. It was very much focused on how can we help people understand what step they can take in their career, take that first step in their career with confidence. I was like, okay, so his podcast started out being audio only.
Yeah.
So we did that as a nice kind of Kickstarter, just to kind of flex the muscles a little bit, a bit of a stretch into it. Then we moved into video, but in a studio on an RAF base. But then it was season 3 that we then went outside and we took the podcast format into the swimming pool, the football pitch, the rugby pitch, the boxing ring, the gym, an e-gaming room as well, like with an F1 rig, and the e-gaming Formula 1 world champion was there driving with us. And so my point in that is basically we kind of gradually got towards kind of the big piece, and this was like 7 episodes. And so it was great to be able to just go to these RAF bases and just talk to individuals there. We had a professional host, and she came from a very kind of questioning background and didn't really know what is all this about, thing. So it's things like, when you get punched in the face in the boxing ring, what do you learn about yourself, or if you're part of a team, whether it's on the rugby pitch or on the football pitch, what do you get from that? Because we're basically saying that there is this assumption, certainly I think in careers, but also especially in early careers, is that people are meant to, when they leave education, meant to know their stuff.
Yeah.
They're meant to be ready, because education goes, we've prepared you for the world of work. Go on.
Yeah.
See what you can do. And then the employers go, we want people who can do this, and this. But they're going like, well, what on earth do I do? So actually it was great to be able to kind of use our abilities to actually help people decide what they want to do without just going, come and work for the RAF. Although, of course, we did get to shout about the RAF when we do it as well.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds fantastic. At what stage does it stop being a podcast?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I'd say, podcasts came about because of the iPod.
Yeah.
And when the iPod came, podcasts happened. So they have been very much audio focused originally, but actually there's a long time they've not been regarded that. So 2 years ago, I went to the podcast show in London. I think it's like the 2nd or 3rd year of it running. And you saw the world of media and the press talk about podcasts and how they can, it can be a new format to distribute your content and generate revenue. And then you had all these YouTubers coming along going, we can use podcasts for YouTube. Yeah. And seeing these two worlds collide are great. Yeah. And actually now I think whenever you're producing a podcast, you're either producing it for audio, but filming for clips, or you're doing it as a video first piece. And then adapting it for audio only and also video. But Spotify have introduced video as part of their kind of their distribution. YouTube is the number one platform when it comes to discovering podcasts, and that clearly is video. You only have to look at TikTok and Instagram Reels to see podcast style content. So I see it's conversational content. Yeah. That's ultimately what it is.
Yeah. That wasn't some kind of comment on being some sort of audio podcast purist. It was just interesting how those worlds have collided.
Massively, yeah.
And as you know, we've got our own podcast. We've kind of kept it audio only because it's just easier and quicker to do. But that's not to say it won't evolve. So that's why, really interesting to know how the dynamic changes once you start introducing visuals to it and having to worry about if you combed your hair.
No, is that, well, actually, that's something is that we do say it's very much like we want it to be as natural as possible. Yeah. So I don't think we've ever had a makeup artist on set. No. It's we want it raw. We've had it sometimes where clients go, it's very real. Yeah. It's like, brilliant. That's fantastic. That's very, very, very great. And don't worry about it. It's as good as we're doing this. Yeah. But I think and I'll show you a bit of a clip in a sec, but it's like it's a way of creating richer content, I think, which is really important. And one of the reasons why it won as well, not only because we get out and about capturing content from different sporting scenarios, but we're also clipping it as well. And you can only clip a promotional video so much. Yeah. But when you've got rich episodes of 7 episodes of like 20 to 30 minutes long, then you've got a whole load of stuff you can serialize. So you get the quality and you get the quantity. And to be honest, if people are watching just the clips and don't watch the episode, in a way the job has been done. Yeah. You know, it's
so what gongs did you collect along the way?
So we got Recruitment Marketing Awards back in 2023. That was for season 2 when we graduated to video, and then this season 3, the sports series, that won the podcast category as well. But actually, I was really chuffed that we got nominated for video as well for it. And then at the RADs, we got nominated for video for that season 3 sports series, which I was really chuffed because, you know, it's podcast, but it shows that we're moving into more vidcast, chatcast space, which meant it was great. It got accepted into like a video category.
It's a validation for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Be good to have a look at.
Let's have a look.
Do you think, had you not have played football, you would be as good as you are at your job?
This is Hope. Hope is our host. We threw her into loads of challenges in each episode.
Brilliant.
So we did kind of put her to the test. Yeah. Kind of helped her find her full, so to speak, or stretch her abilities. It was great fun doing it. And I think the key thing for me was about making all of the participants very relaxed, because you know this, they're not used to being in front of camera. Most of them are not used to being in front of the camera. And it was very much about, look, you know, we're just here to have a conversation. Yeah. And we have a bit of fun on set as well. So it was particularly great. It was really cool doing the challenges. So we had Hope doing a crossbar challenge in rugby. And she had 3 attempts to kick the rugby ball onto the crossbar. And she actually did it on the 3rd attempt.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So to see, everyone went completely nuts and loved it. And she was like rolling around on the floor. Yeah.
That is a lovely piece of work. I mean, it just feels very natural. And you obviously did a great job of putting those people at ease. I can see why it was successful.
No, it's good. I mean, it's I think a number of times actually we've been told that actually, we've been involved in something before. I did it with a hotel chain. Yeah. And it's like, I did something a few weeks back and it all felt very, very serious. Yeah. And so with the RF as well, it was like, you know, it's like, you guys are kind of like relaxed about things. You know? Yeah. It's not, we care about what we do and we take it seriously, but it's like just going, look, not like lights, camera, action. No. You know, right, say something inspiring. It's like, look, we're all here. Yeah. We're coming to you. We're in your home. And we're just going to be, you know, we've got some guided conversations. And I think, you know, and we just want to capture that. I think a big thing, a part of it, is taking that producer mindset of going, and you see it in TV, you know, all the time, where you know that there's been a production team behind the scenes working with the crew and with the cast, you know, and actually just being very clear with the employees up front to going, this is the direction, this is why we're doing this, and this is why you're perfect to get involved. What do you think? Can you add your ideas to it? Yeah. Like with you're getting contributions from the employees themselves, and that gives you like the most authentic stuff. So
this feels, I think the client that said this feels real is good, because I think even with, you think about all the sort of TV shows that are series that have been successful, you do eventually, you work out the formula, don't you? And you kind of sniff out the formula. So whether it's The Apprentice or Come Dine With Me or whatever, you know, you sort of sniff out like what's going on, and then you realise, this is an entertainment program. Yes. But I think what's nice about this is it's not like there's a format to it doesn't feel like behind it there's a kind of cynical bunch of producers saying telling you what to say. This. Yeah, it does feel exactly like what you see is what you get. I think it's a good choice of presenter there. I think that helps to add something extra. Like you feel like you're in safe hands, I suppose. That's what it is.
Definitely. I mean, purposely went from someone who didn't know the RAF, because that's kind of, we assume that was the angle that the listeners would be coming from.
Yeah.
It's not having that, that knowledge.
Yeah, so there's unlike how Louis Theroux, who I love, and he's kind of faux, he's sort of faux innocence and
Yes, that's
naivety.
it. Yeah, draws you in.
Yeah, but I feel like with watching that, there's the kind of genuine, I guess it's intrigue, isn't it, and curiosity about things. So bringing it full circle back to, because it was a kind of an awards chat.
Yes.
What would you say were your sort of top 3 things for someone who's thinking about work that they might want to nominate or have award ambitions?
I think I've learned this through winning, but also not winning awards. Is clarity, absolute clarity about what the purpose of the project was. That clarity also is of course really important when it comes to the strategy, because you're ultimately giving this editorial direction and going, this is ultimately what we're trying to achieve by doing this, and these are the reasons why. Yeah. So I think that clarity, when you translate that to an award, is really important, because you can have loads and loads of information about an award, but it's difficult to see, especially when judges are doing lots and lots of judging, lots of awards. You kind of need to cut to the chase. So that's how I've got that right many times, but haven't always got that right as well. So I think that clarity is important, but also I think doing it justice, and actually not necessarily briefing it out to someone who hasn't worked on the project to write up the copy for an entry, is actually get the people who have actually worked on it to do it, because that passion, authenticity comes through in the entry. Definitely.
No, it's true. It does.
Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of good work out there that actually hasn't been nominated or shortlisted, nominated or won because of the quality of the entry.
You do have to make your entry a piece of work in its own right.
That's true.
Think of it that way. But and I've wrestled with this as well about awards, because simultaneously, it's an industry. Awards are an industry in their own right. There's a degree of subjectivity, like I say, just because something doesn't win doesn't invalidate that as a piece of work.
Yeah, true.
So I've kind of gone from it's all a load of nonsense, but actually they are quite important in terms of, and it's great to win, isn't it? It's great for for clients. It's great for, it becomes everyone's award. And it's the events themselves a good opportunity to catch up with people you haven't seen for ages. So I think they are are a good thing, and I think the quality of work and the rigor around the work is, I've only seen that improve. It's basically more difficult to win something now, I think. And that's a good thing. I think it's like, a rising tide lifts all boats, as they say.
Yes, 100%. Well, look, it's been great chat. I mean, it's nice to chat with, someone who's judged on work as well. I think I suggest that anyone who's has the opportunities definitely be a judge.
So take it and take it seriously. Give it time, because people put a lot of effort into their work, and you want to kind of, as someone who's submitted work, you kind of want to know that someone's reading your entries and really judging it properly. So
definitely,
good
stuff. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Glad I didn't go for the handshake.
Yeah.
No,
it's good to chat. Always good to chat, Roger.
Likewise.